Hello and welcome back to Premier League Predictions, the show which does what it says on the tin. It's Game Week 27 and we're here to predict this weekend's round of Premier League fixtures. Should be an interesting one. We've got a couple of double game weeks for certain teams, but we'll start from the top with the reverse fixture. It was 9-0 in the reverse fixture, I should say. Bournemouth versus Liverpool, the 12:30. Will it be 9-0 this time?
I mean, Liverpool scored 7 last weekend. Who says they can't score 9 this weekend?
They want to better it.
I highly doubt
This
it.
would be the fixture to do it.
Bournemouth need to start to realise that they need to pick up points and fast, and they've got to, improve their performances. I'm not saying they need to go out and win.
Bottom of the league, Bournemouth against the Liverpool side that just won 7-0.
They need to stop shipping goals at least. It's the best they can do.
Yeah.
I think they'll do that, as you said. Liverpool in good form. Núñez, Gakpo, Salah finally starting to get there. Maybe. I do think they'll get on the score sheet here. I'll go 4-0 Liverpool. 2 goals from Mohamed Salah, 1 goal from Darwin Núñez, and 1 goal from Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, we spoke about it on our bonus podcast on Tuesday. Go check that out if you haven't already. We spoke about how Liverpool looked really, really good in the United game, but potentially don't get too excited because that could just be a one-off game. I think they will take momentum into this. Bournemouth aren't great, which I think helps them in that regard. Perfect game to play after a game like United, a bit of an easier one, and I think they will win 3-0. Away from home.
Easier one than winning 7-0.
Well, that was at home. I think if the home game was 9-0 against Bournemouth, I don't think Bournemouth will concede 9 at home.
No.
I wouldn't put it past them, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it will happen. I think it'll be goals from Salah, Gakpo, Núñez, 3-0, and everyone involved.
Fair enough.
On to the next one then, the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs, Everton versus Brentford. 2 sides with very opposing fortunes this season. Brentford challenging up in the top 10, looking like they could get a European spot if they're fortunate. Everton will be lucky to avoid relegation at their current rate.
But equally,
who will win this game?
2 differing situations, but 2 very similar scenarios. Both teams cannot afford to drop points. Everton need points to stay up. Brentford need points to stay in that European race. I think going to Goodison Park is a tough challenge, but I think they'll pull it off. I'll go 1-0 Brentford with a goal from Matthias Jensen.
I don't see a 1-0 game here. If Brentford are going to win, it's going to be more. Everton either set up really well defensively and they don't concede at all, or if 1 goes in, about 4 go in. And I think that's what's going to happen. Everton 0, Brentford 3.
Fair enough.
Not 4. And I think that's a bit of a push. It's at Goodison Park. If it got to 3 now, I think Sean Dyche would run another defender and just protect their dignity. Fans would run on the pitch if it was 4.
Yeah.
So they have to get some players on and just protect make sure they don't lose any more than 3. So, Everton, I think they look all right, but Brentford, I think, are just a step above their current level. And it will be goals from Ivan Toney, a double in potentially one of his last games before his suspension, and a goal from Brian Mbeumo, giving some FPL fans hope that maybe he could be a decent Toney replacement. Up next then, Leeds versus Brighton. Leeds sort of more northerly, Brighton very much on the south coast.
And again, it's similar to the Everton-Brentford game. One team needs points in their relegation fight. The other team needs points in their European fight.
And in exactly the same conditions, it's the team that needs points for the relegation fight at home. And both of them have remarkable home crowds. Ellen Road, arguably even more atmospheric than Goodison Park is.
They are managed by Jaffe Gracia. So
that is a concern, isn't it?
Yeah. Brighton tore apart West Ham at the weekend. I think they will do similar here. I'll go 3-0 Brighton with goals from March, Veltman and Matoma.
Yeah, I think Brighton will give FPL fans what they're looking for. I'm going to go 2-0 though. I'm going to go for Matoma and McAllister to score. March owners will be very disappointed, but a clean sheet for everyone who has Estupiñán. On to the next one then. Leicester versus Chelsea. Leicester have been a little all over the place recently, losing to Southampton, who were bottom of the league at the time. Chelsea with some renewed confidence following victories over Leeds and most recently Borussia Dortmund. Will Chelsea take confidence in this game, do you think? And will Leicester be potentially shaken up after facing Southampton?
I think from Chelsea's point of view, you could just see the reaction from the players, from the fans, from Potter. That Dortmund win was a huge one. And it shows how recency bias and football fans are very reactionary.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be, most people that see sense are back on board with the Chelsea project. I think some were already there. Some, obviously, that Dortmund result was kind of put them in favour. Leicester.
Some still have that agenda if we want Tuchel back.
Do.
But yeah, most Chelsea fans now back on board with the Tuchel hype train. The Potter hype train.
I see what's in the Tuchel area. Get out.
Sorry, the Tuchel train just sounds better, alliteration and all that.
Leicester, they're just not great. They're not
anything.
Great. And without James Maddison, it's not looking great.
What do you mean without James Maddison?
No, I mean, when they don't have James Maddison, they look rubbish. They look completely awful.
Well, they will have James Maddison, so will they score?
I think they will score.
Okay.
So I don't think Chelsea will keep 3 clean sheets in a row without Thiago Silva. But I am going to go 4-1 Chelsea. Leicester goal from James Maddison. Chelsea goals 2 from Havertz, 1 from Felix, and 1 from Reece James.
I'm not going that bold this soon. I need to see more from Chelsea before I start throwing out 4-1 predictions. I'm going to go 2-0 though. Away from home, on the road, I'll take a 2-0 victory over a Leicester side that look quite poor. Goals from Felix, I think will score, and Enzo Fernandez, first goal for the club, forced him on the edge of the area, slaps it top corner. Chelsea 2, Leicester 0. Big win, I think this would be for Chelsea. Chelsea, if they can keep up their performance against Dortmund and carry momentum from that into other games, they've got a potential run at Europe. If they can start playing like this, potential run at the Champions League as well. Who knows? You never know. They could draw some really nice, get a really nice tie in the quarterfinals.
Could also get round Real Madrid.
They could, unless they get knocked out by Liverpool. But yeah, if you want to join us for those Champions League games, back next week. But Tottenham versus Nottingham Forest. What do you think for this one?
I mean,
the
again,
game up
it's
next.
a team that needs points in the relegation battle against a team that needs points in the European battle. Obviously, Tottenham, massive relegation battle they're involved in right now, need to pick up some points.
I will caveat this game with that we've not seen Tottenham Milan, so they could be out of the Champions League by this point.
They are still rubbish though.
So
Conte's back, isn't he?
There's a good chance Tottenham are out by this point.
I believe Conte is back. Not going to make a difference though. I'll go 1-0.
Fair enough. Interesting prediction.
I'll go Harry Kane goal for Tottenham and a Tyro Awoniyi Brennan Johnson goal for Forest.
Tottenham are in poor form. We've seen that. They just lost to Wolves. I think they're going to lose again here.
Forest are playing really strong.
They are playing quite well recently. I think it's going to be 2-0 at Nottingham Forest. A Morgan gives white goal and a Brennan Johnson goal. Both players in good form. Both playing some nice stuff. And I think they will keep that up into this game. Tottenham look shambolic defensively. Tottenham just confuse me because they've got a decent squad that looks like it should be able to fight for Europe. Yeah. But you throw a Tottenham shirt on them and instantly they can't win a game of football. So, 2-0, comfy win for Nottingham Forest. That's the last of the 3 o'clocks. Then the 5:30 on the Saturday evening is one we can all get excited for. Crystal Palace host Man City.
Just not great, is it?
I mean, City are probably going to absolutely transfer them. But
Palace look terrible. City look good. Yeah. I'm going to go 5-0 City. Haaland 2, Bernardo Silva 1, Grealish 1, and a goal from John Stones.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think City will also win this quite comfortably. I think we discussed how Palace are in terrible form.
Stones is injured, a Kanji.
Okay, we discussed how Palace are in terrible form in our other podcast this week. Go check out that, where we talk about the relegation fight. And I think their poor form will continue here. Manchester City 2, Palace 0. Not going to be a ridiculous scoreline. I think they'll just get a comfy win over the line. Double from Haaland. Easy job. Yeah. On to the Sunday then. The first game is Fulham versus Arsenal. Won't be giving a prediction day. We will be live for it. Not the most exciting game ever, but still a good
one.
Good game between the table toppers and a team pushing for Europe.
We watched Arsenal Fulham. We watched the reverse fixture live as well, and that was a good game. Obviously, it was a Gabriel header. Late in the game that actually won the game for Arsenal. That was a really close game, really good game.
At the Craven Cottage.
For absolute fortress.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about
unless they're playing Brighton. I think they lost to Brighton at the Cottage the other week. Might be wrong.
No.
Was that at the Amex?
I think so.
Okay, I am wrong. But yeah, we will be live for that. Make sure to join us from 10 to 2. Should be a good game. We will have 2 games accompanying that coverage of Fulham Arsenal. Yes. So we'll have other things to talk about on the day as well. Manchester United versus Southampton is the first of those. We've seen United pack in Southampton 9-0 before. Yeah. Southampton just got a win, didn't they?
Manchester United need to respond.
They need a bounce back, don't they? Could Southampton win 9-0? They've just won 1-0. United just lost 7-0.
And I think United will respond in fashion. I'm going to go 6-0 Manchester United. Wow. Southampton look good.
Back from a 7 with a 6. I just can't see
4. 4, because Southampton look really good recently.
Okay. Fair enough. Are you going to Eventually going to end up with Southampton 8-0 or something. Where's this
3-0 United.
Okay.
I'm settling there. 2 goals from Rashford and a goal from Luke Shaw.
Fair enough. I think they'll both drop points in this game, but Southampton will be very pleased because they've actually got a point. So that'll be a game for them. I think it's going to be Manchester United 2, Southampton 2. I think it's going to be a bit of a close game. Manchester United goals through the absolutely unstoppable Marcus Rashford.
Well, he was stopped last week.
He was, but that's only Liverpool. And I will also go for a goal from Jadon Sancho for Manchester United goals. And then Southampton will have goals from Mislav Orsic, who scored against Leicester. Was it Orsic?
No.
Was it an own goal?
I think it's James
Ward-Prowse.
No, it was Alcaraz.
Oh, yeah, I'll go for him to score again. Southampton, 2 big goals, getting a point away. United,
Fair enough.
huge point.
Fair enough.
Up next on the last of those 2 o'clock fixtures that we'll be talking about on stream, West Ham versus Aston Villa. What are you thinking for your boys here? West Ham are in the relegation zone at the moment. Villa should win that, right?
West Ham are look tragic, and away from home they are awful.
West Ham not in the relegation; they're just outside of it.
But at home they are decent. But I still don't think they'll win. I think it'll be pretty comfortable for Villa. I'll go 3-0 with goals from 2 from Watkins and a goal from John McGinn.
See, I can't decide whether West Ham are going to win this game 4-0 or lose it 4-0. That seems to be their thing at the moment. They either win 4-0 or lose 4-0. I'm going to go win 4-0. They're at home. They're at the London Olympic Stadium.
Where was that?
Rogue shout.
That is ridiculous.
Danny Ings, against his former side, is going to drop a hat-trick on their head tops. Harry will be crying live on stream. West Ham with a big 3 points. The last goal will come thanks to Arthur Masuaku. And
Is he still employed?
I don't know. Probably not. I'll go then Ben Johnson.
All right.
Screamer from a full-back is what I'm predicting. So yeah, big comfy win for West Ham. Aston Villa fans crying. Sorry any Villa fans watching. Not sorry Harry. Last game on the Sunday then, the 4:30 kickoff. Newcastle versus Wolves. Newcastle just outside those Champions League spots right now. Wolves just outside the relegation zone.
Bad game week for TV. It's just Newcastle. Wolves, I don't understand Wolves.
No? What don't you understand about them?
Really good team, really good manager, but they're still like 15th.
Oh, the team there, not the animal. It's confusing.
Oh no, I get Wolves. They're great.
That is all there is to get about Wolves, to be fair.
They howl. Newcastle look decent, but I mean, also the cup final was a big loss. What did they do last weekend?
They probably won. No, they lost to City, didn't they?
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
We streamed it, should probably remember that.
Yeah, I think they'll win here. I'll go 2-1 Newcastle. Newcastle goals from Wilson and Longstaff and a Wolves goal from Craig Dawson.
Yeah, fair enough. Newcastle winless in their last 4, I believe now.
Yeah.
Which could be winless in their last 5.
Ooh.
Wolves will beat them 1-0 at St James's Park thanks to a goal through Diego Costa.
Oh,
finally, for God's sake.
You went off on a stretcher last weekend.
Daniel Prudence, then, I guess, a more reasonable guess. Just going to keep predicting that Diego Costa goals until he eventually scores. But, I think they'll get a victory over Newcastle. Again, Rogue One, I think Newcastle are playing the better stuff at the moment. They're a better team, but they're on a bit of a poor run of form. Yeah. I think this will compound their misery further. On to midweeks then, we've got some bonus fixtures, we've got some double game weeks, we've got some rearranged games. And first of which is Brighton versus Crystal Palace.
Big derby.
It is indeed, but the derby of the birds or something like that. We will be live on Wednesday, not for either of these games though. Instead for the Champions League action.
Yeah, big derby this. A lot of hatred between the two fans, and I think the Seagulls will have the bragging rights over the Eagles.
All right. I forgot which one was which there, but yeah.
I will go 2-0 Brighton. And it will be, again, goals from Mitoma and Ewan Ferguson.
Fair enough. Ewan. I thought it was Evan, but like it. Brighton, I think, always dominate Crystal Palace, but they never win. And that's going to continue here. It's going to be Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 3. No logic behind that, but Brighton will dominate the Seagulls. The Seagulls will dominate the Eagles, but the Eagles will win. I don't know, the birds are confusing me. Brighton will have a goal through Kawaro, Mitoma, and Crystal Palace goals will come 2 from Usaha and 1 for Ebereki Eze. On to the final game then, Southampton versus Brentford, the Saints versus the Bees. A lot easier to distinguish those nicknames. Who do you think is going to come out on top? Will we be the Holy Hosts or the buzzing visitors?
I think it will be the visitors, and I think it'll be the visitors
Could you only refer to them as the buzzing visitors, please?
I think it'll be the buzzing visitors. It'll
Thank
be
you.
2-1 win for the Bees, with goals from Tony and Mees. And then a Southampton goal from James Ward-Prowse.
Fair enough. I don't think Southampton are going to score. I do think Brentford are going to win 1-0. Ivan Toney, penalty. Bosh.
Fair
Lovely
enough.
one for Brentford. But yeah,
It
is a bit of a meh game week. Hopefully the games pick up.
It's always the meh game weeks to provide the best action. Like Palace City will be like 4-3.
And of course, next week, game week 28, we've only got 7 games or something like that to predict. The game week after, though, we have 18, so look out for that.
So we have a tiny predictions and then a bump up.
Yeah, exactly. So, don't be disappointed if next week's video is only about 5 minutes long of us just shouting Chelsea songs. The one Chelsea song, of course. But yeah, that is all from us today. And we get a short rendition now. Make sure to get involved in the comments down below. We want to hear from your guys what your predictions are. I'd love to see you get involved in the comments down there. Leave a like as well. It massively helps pushing the video out to new audiences. And yeah, whenever these predictions always seem to get like 200 views, a load of you enjoy watching, but you never leave a like. It will help us out massively if you could just hit that thumbs up button before you go and watch our podcast.
Please and thank you.
But yeah, and subscribe, of course, if you're new, and all the good stuff on Spotify as well. But yeah, that is all for us today. Thank you all very much for watching or listening, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.